today I'm starting a new project, a new sweater, because those of you who have seen the, I haven't titled it yet, but it's probably gonna be something along mustard sportswear sweater line. We lost it, Yarn Chicken. I don't have the yarn. I currently have it on order, but we don't know when we're gonna be getting that back in. So I decided to start a new project, and that's where we're at. Many of you who know me in the real world know that I love movies. Like, I love movies so much. One of my favorite movies came out in 2019 and inspired the project we're actually going to start today. So today we're starting a sweater that I've been wanting to make since 2019 but didn't buy the materials for until this last fall. Yes, we are making a sweater from the film Jojo Rabbit by Taika Waititi. Now, specifically, we are making the sweater that Scarlet Johansson wears as the character Rosie while at dinner with her son, Jojo. Love Scarlett Johansson. I mean, she is one of the most beautiful people on screen, and also I did see her in person once. The way the costume designer used colors and textures and the original patterns to build Rosie's wardrobe, with this piece included, is in my mind a masterstroke. The sweater only appears in this one scene, so we don't have a lot of different angles or lighting beyond what is in that dining room and the living room. And despite its limited screen time, it remains one of my favorite pieces from the entire And despite its limited screen time, it remains one of my favorite pieces from the entire movie. The sweater is actually a version, or it was patterned off of a very popular vintage pattern that I know a lot of knitters are drawn to. The pattern is called the rainbow jumper. Now, I did consider knitting my sweater from the original rainbow jumper pattern, but I actually am ending up using a Susan Crawford pattern called the Jojo, where Susan Crawford, the lovely goddess that she is, has taken the Jojo and used mathematics and equations, and so I have decided to use Susan Crawford's pattern due to being a bit short-waisted myself. I don't think I'll need to make too many adjustments. I am not going to reveal too much of the pattern, and this is more my making video, just because you should go and buy her pattern yourself. I don't want to give too much away. I love her. I've met her. Trust me, you are in good hands if you do so choose to use hers. Okay. So learning point number one, never assume that you're gonna have to rip something out, so therefore you shouldn't film it because you'll be filming the other thing later. Don't do that. Don't be me. So this is the waistband of my jumper right now, and it's at 3.5 inches, which is a 1/2 inch shorter than the pattern prescribes. It's roughly supposed to be a 4-inch rib. However, I'm only doing a 3.5 inch rib because, like I said it before, I'm short-waisted, so I'm taking that 1/2 inch off of the total length because the total length is about a 1/2 inch to 1 inch too long for me. So I'm gonna absorb that by only doing 3.5 inches in the rib. Now, I thought that by experimenting with this, I was going to have to change needle sizes because I should be doing, for the main part of the sweater, a size 2, so the rib should be in a size 1. However, when I tested it out, it's actually gonna be a better fit for me to use a size 2 for both the rib and the main part. So I thought I was gonna have to rip it out. This was more of an experiment. So I don't have footage of that, but just understand the rib is done. This may be less easy. So I started doing the color thing, but the thing is with the color is that you have to adjust it based on how many colors you are working, because you can alternate the stripes to make a different colorway, which is extremely considerate of Miss Crawford. Thank you, Susan. Love you so much. I have had the worst time trying to look at the original film stills that I can find on Google Images to try to see what the stripe color order was, so then I can use those. I think I have it. Welcome back. Hi. So I've done about 25 rows of the color work so far, and I think I was panicking a little bit last night because I had 4 different pieces of paper in front of me, several different charts. I think I overcomplicated it. Honestly, I've done about, like I said, 20 rows, and I've gone through now all of the colors. So this will be what my color sequence looks like. This is very, actually, more difficult than it seems. Voila. I think it's actually going really well. They say I need to keep doing this until I reach one full set of the pattern, a half set of the pattern, and then I can decrease for the underarm. The top line of the pattern for the yoke has to match up with the final green color A set. So we have to mathematically work it out, even if we're adjusting just a little bit. Welcome back. I've been a little bit under the weather today, not really sick, just sort of feel run down. I have no energy. So today I'm sort of taking as a, I don't know what you want to call it, like a rest day, and I leave for England this next, basically I have 9 days to finish this sweater, but, okay, wait. There we go. Look at that. So obviously this will stretch out a little bit to form a more to my body when I put it on. And vintage sweaters are usually very nipped in the waist. So it's meant to show off your bust, waist, and high hip proportion. Now, your hip measurement is going to be where your hip bones are. And in modern clothing, they usually refer to the fullest part of your tush. Now, the high hip is about 3 inches below your waistline. Now, the high hip measurement is for 1940s patterns where you really want the sweater to end, your ribbing to begin for the sweater. So then I have the high hip to waist for myself is about 3 inches for me. So for me, I altered this ribbing portion, and then this is slightly higher. That way the ribbing is a very flattering, sort of hugging into my body, and that will also allow for a more vintage silhouette. But yeah, we're really coming along. This is the part where it meets, so it's actually pretty seamless across. So it doesn't. Once I block it out, you shouldn't be able to tell where the round started, because there is options with the pattern that I'm doing for it to be knitted flat or in the round. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to now split for the armholes. Now, something that this pattern has done really well is once you split for the armholes when you're knitted in the round, it moves to the same patterning as knitted flat, which took me forever to figure out. It gave me like a 20-minute but now knit from this symbol onwards, and I'm like, I don't see the symbol, because of course I was proactive and I separated the pages from page knitted in the round and page knitted flat, and I separated them as though they were 2 different patterns. That did not work. I have put the patterns back together to be able to read what is the flat of the pattern. Like I said, T-minus 9 days until we're in London, and I really want to be able to wear this sweater because my family is planning to go to Winston Churchill's War Rooms, and I think this would be a really cool thing to wear on that day out. Hello. So I'm dressed for packing. I'm packing right now for London, but I just wanted to take a brief moment and introduce you to Mamselle. So this is Mamselle. She's my first ever of my own dress forms, and she's fitted right now with the measurements that I am. So I think this is gonna be a really great way to gauge like how my knits are gonna look once they are officially blocked. I think I can also block on this form, so I'm super excited, but I just wanted to make that little introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. All right, so it is T-minus 2 days until I fly out for London, and the Jojo's not done. It's Tuesday right now, and this past Saturday, I had my sweater in the bag, in the project bag, and because I'm using size 1s for this top yoke bit, both of them snapped off. Oh, no. So I had to order new size 1s because most craft stores were closed, and the big chain ones like Joann's and Michael's won't carry size 1s normally, or at least not in my experience. So I ordered new size ones. I ordered the circulars this time because it's a shorter amount of wood for me to have to worry about snapping again. But I've got 2 days plus a roughly 10.5-hour flight to try to get this done. I'd love to be able to wear this. I'm gonna try to get this done. If I can finish the yoke either today or tomorrow, I can probably finish the sleeves in time.
Hopefully not a talker.
Hello. So I'm a bit sick right now, so I'm talking very quietly and not doing much, but I finished the one sleeve on the airplane back from Heathrow to LA, and right now I'm just copying the second sleeve like this. So even though I'm sick, I'm still knitting. It's about the only thing I feel I'm up to doing right now, but I love how it's coming out. I'm really proud of this, and I know it's gonna look really good after seeing it on the mannequin. And yeah, I blocked the original bodice piece on the mannequin the other day, and I think what's gonna end up happening is I sew the piece together on the mannequin, then I take it off. So we're gonna see how that goes. Alrighty, so now we've come to the dreaded part of weaving in your ends. Now, I've known people who have gone, and I am not going to say whether or not I've participated in this, who have gone years without weaving in certain specific ends. But for this one, we are doing it correctly. Onward. And voila! I've got about 95 stitches, which I'm supposed to have 105, but I've picked up fewer for the neckline just because I have a very small neck. So I want this to be a little bit more, hello. A little bit snugger, just in case. So I've picked up all my stitches, and now we're going to do a knit one, purl one, crew neck. This is optional, but because of Scarlett Johansson's in the movie, hers does have the crew neck, so I am going to put it in as well. It's done. We did it. It's done. This is the finished product. I wanted to film it out in the wild and find a cute Art Deco building, but in the interest of getting this video out sooner rather than later, because this has been going on forever, we're just shooting this indoors today. But I've done my makeup pretty period appropriate. My hair is an approximation of Scarlett Johansson's. She has a few different styles. This is a little bit more stylized, but I've got a little squirrel brooch on. I didn't have a bunny, but, or rabbit, Jojo rabbit. I had a squirrel. We're wearing a squirrel. But I'm really happy with the overall cut of the sweater. I think it cinches in really nice. The lines really emphasize my shape, and I love a puffed sleeve. One of my favorite things is that all of the details line up across the sleeves here and all the way around to the front, so that everything matches up, everything is super precise, and that's one of the things I love about making my own vintage sweaters and vintage knits in general. Okay, so yeah, I'll be back in probably about a month with a very fun themed sportswear knit, and bye-bye. Also, if you've not hit the like or subscribe button, please do that. It helps me. Sportswear's next, and see you in a month.